Right, people, so you want to become a personal trainer and you want to know how to go from £0 to £5,000 in monthly recurring revenue. This is the ultimate be-all, end-all guide on how to do that from start to finish and how I have done that myself. So realistically, the one thing about becoming a PT is that people go into it, I believe, with the wrong impression. Bear in mind, this is about being a gym floor personal trainer in a commercial gym. If you're in a private gym, it's going to be a lot different because usually different clientele, different systems there. In my case, as you can see, it was in a Total Fitness. And realistically, I feel as though commercial gyms like that, for example, I believe it's kind of second to David Lloyd's if you're from the United Kingdom. However, I don't believe you're allowed to be self-employed at David Lloyd's. I think they only have employed PTs there. You need to be self-employed. That's one of the big keys. However, those sort of gyms where the average age demographic is between probably 30 and 70, this is where you are going to thrive. That is where you are best off. Trust me, even if you're a young lad and you have this impression like I did at first, or like, maybe I'll be able to work with a bunch of other young lads that want to look like me and want to get built. No, they are not going to be your clients. Let's just start with that. So, first off, your why. You've likely gotten in shape, you enjoy the gym, and you think, hey, if I can do this, if I look like this, I can help others do the same and get them to pay me for it because that will be marketable. I can market my own body, I can market myself. However, this is a sales job. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but if you do not enjoy sales and you're not willing to commit to that side of things, you are not going to enjoy this job. Straight up. If you're coming into this thinking, I want to help people get in shape, I want to help people get fit, that is a really good, positive thing to want to do. However, people are not going to come to you for help. You have to convince them or realistically demonstrate to them why they need your service and why it will benefit them, because even if they do want a personal trainer and they have wanted a coach, people do not go out and get things. They need you to deliver that service to them, to approach them, and to go from there. So how you look has very little impact on your success. Now, this is a lesson I learned the hard way to begin with, because I've got an elite level physique. My physique is far superior to the average individual because I've trained for 8 years. It's a given. It's not egotistical. It's realistically anyone who's trained for over 8 years should be on that level either way. However, a good physique, it may get you more attention. And obviously, a lot of my clients and people I have spoken to say they prefer it, obviously, if somebody who is training others looks good because you practice what you preach. But taking action overrules all of that. That is the key here. Taking action will always win. Having a good physique, I believe the only real purpose for that is that it may remove your own imposter syndrome, which realistically is a problem in yourself. There are plenty of PTs who do not need to be in shape whatsoever, but if they are good salesmen, if they are confident, and if they have people skills, they will wipe the floor with you, even if you are a competitive bodybuilder and look amazing. That is going to make no difference, especially when we're dealing with this specific client base. We are not training people to be athletes. We are not training people to be bodybuilders. They do not care. If anything, if you actually look too big, if you have too much muscle mass, that can be off-putting because they don't really want to be working side by side with somebody who is so far beyond their scope of goal and their scope of capability. So I'd say you want to make sure you've got a good physique, a healthy physique, but nothing too over the top, and don't make that like the thing in your head that you think is going to carry you through this career. It makes no difference, trust me. What do you actually need then? So, knowledge of training, of course, you need that to be moderate to advanced. The actual personal training qualification, just find the cheapest one. Simple as, because realistically during the personal training course, you are going to use nothing that you've learned during that here. You're just not. I'd say 100% of my knowledge came from YouTube, my own personal training, and my own personal research over the last 8 years. The actual personal training qualification I did, that's just for the certificate to get you the job, to get you the insurance that you need for the legal things, that sort of stuff. Besides that, make sure you've got a moderate to advanced level of training. You don't, like I said, we're not training athletes. You don't need to know everything. Nobody is ever going to ask you the scientific name of a muscle or bone or anything like that. Like, never. They do not care. If you've got the base level of knowledge, you know, that's your lats, that's your pecs, they're your biceps, boom. That's all people care about. They don't want to be flooded with big words, and they don't want to think you sound clever if you're saying stuff you read in your PT course. People skills. This is probably the biggest one. This is it. If you have people skills, you can make it as a personal trainer. You might even basically not know how to train, but if you had good enough people skills, that would carry you through this, like 100%. So you need to be charismatic, you need to be relatively extroverted, or at least act like it, and you need to be confident. These are things that if you think you're lacking at the moment, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and you need to develop those skills specifically. Sales skills, very similar to people skills. However, that usually comes down to figuring out, you know, from the way people react, from certain things they say, how keen they are as to whether your service might be something they are looking for. Usually a really good sign is if you begin a conversation with someone and they start asking you questions, they are interested, they need help, they want to know more. If people are very standoffish, cold, it's pretty blatant that they either feel relatively uncomfortable with a stranger approaching them, which plenty of people do, or they are not interested in your service, at which point it's wasting your time and their time. A resolute mind. You have to be determined to succeed and you need to roll with the punches in this job. That's the biggest thing. You are going to be put down time and time again. People are going to, honestly, sometimes people are basically going to be giving you a face like, fuck off, stop speaking to me, and you just have to smile. You just have to remain enthusiastic. You just have to have your positive energy field and nothing can disrupt it. That is a key. No negativity is getting in. You have this constant barrier, this constant shield that you have to keep up, especially within the gym environment. If you're going to be in the gym, which you will be, day in, day out, especially at the beginning, 7 days a week. If you need one day off, give yourself one day off. But as much as you can, you need to be in that gym, on that gym floor, so that people start seeing your face. That's one of the biggest things. And whenever they see your face, it's smiling. And people go, you know what? I want to be around that guy because just looking at him is making me feel a bit better. That's the type of person you need to be. You need to have like that Will Smith aura about you, you know. Maybe not so much now with the whole situation with the ex-wife, but, you know, old Will Smith, like buzzing, enthusiastic, giving those motivational speeches he's given, pursuit of happiness type stuff. So consistent energy, must remain enthusiastic, like I said. Systems in place to streamline the whole process. So once you've got your character down, once you've started emphasizing sort of like the mood you're going to portray, portray realistically, the more you sort of fake it till you make it, the more you will become positive and enthusiastic within your day anyway. So just trust me on that. These are the systems we're going to break down. So create a business bank account and make it on Metal. Easiest bank account to use. It even gives you different pots so you can put tax into and stuff like that. Super easy to set up. Start doing that. Basically start taking all of your payments through into this business bank account. It will make your finances way easier, and you only purchase things out of this account that you know are a tax write-off. Besides that, you will send money over from this account into your personal account and then spend the money on your personal account for like going out, shopping, things like that you know aren't tax write-offs. That's the way to run your finances. Simple as. How we're going to take payments is through Stripe. It'll give you a gross volume and a net volume. So the gross volume is the total amount of money you have made. The net volume is how much you get after Stripe take their fees. So as you can see there, they took about £70 off me for the month, but it's well worth that price each month because of the ease that it provides you. All you do is you set up a product. So for example, it'll be our sessions, and then it creates a link. You can just send someone the link on WhatsApp. They tap the link. If they have Apple Pay, they can just pay like that immediately. If not, they just have to fill their card details in. Boom. It sets them up on a subscription, which is key because that is how we're going to do our sales. We do not do per session ever. If people ask whether you do per session, you say, no, that's not how I work. End of. That's all you need to say. That's not how I work. That's not going to work for me or you. You're not going to get good results from that. The best results I've ever received have been from monthly sessions, and usually that would be 2 sessions a week. So emphasize that. Obviously, wordage is very key here. Don't just go, no, mate. I don't do, no, mate, that's not me. Like, give them the reasoning, which does make sense, because people who do per session aren't going to get good results, and that's what they are looking for. So we're going to create a link, and it is £40 an hour minimum. You are not worth less than £40 an hour. That is your starting price. Please start at that price, because if you start lower, you are eventually going to get up to that anyway and go, why did I not just start on this price? People will pay £40 an hour. They will pay £40 an hour. You have to convince yourself that. If you feel like that's a lot of money now, it isn't. Okay? Let me just emphasize that right now. If you've done this for a couple of years, you'll go, he was right. So £40 an hour, that's what we're starting at. And it's going to be £320 a month. So we're going to be doing 8 sessions a month with them, 2 sessions a week. So they're going to pay, by tapping that link, it's £320 a month. That is what you're going to say to them during the consult, which we'll be going over later. But you're going to say to them, how I work is I work on a monthly basis. It's £320 a month. That's going to be 8 sessions, 2 a week together throughout the month. If they give you a lot of pushback on the price, or they seem a bit hesitant, or there maybe is a genuine issue, or I've got these big bills at the moment, £320 a bit thingy. If they're really negative about the price point, go, well, I do have the offer to do £160 a month, and we can do 1 session a week together, in which we'll do potentially like a full body session, and I can try and go through as many exercises with you. Sell them on the £160. Ideally, you want as many 2 a week clients as possible, because less admin work, less personal work. If you have a lot of 1 a weekers, you have to deal with a lot of people, so it ends up actually being less value for money in that regard. So that's how we're going to be taking payments. Business account, Metal, Stripe to take the payments using links. We're going to be using Trainerize, spelt with a Z, to train people. Dead easy app. You have to pay for it. Like, you have to pay for all of these things, because stuff that's good isn't free. But it tracks there. You can put the workouts on there. Videos already come with it, so you don't have to film an exercise library to begin with, which you won't have as you're starting out. So you get videos for every exercise. You can make the workouts really easily using their exercise library. You can track a client's body weight on here, and it will actually automatically calculate their nutrition targets as well, because they'll put in their age, their height, their weight to begin with. So that makes like your early days really, really easy. It's probably the best app, most functional for clients as well, and they can even post progress photos on there, all sorts, anything you want, covered, Trainerize. Track your timetable, Google Calendar, simple as. This is key. You are self-employed. You are running a business. You have to make sure you are on time. You have to make sure you track whenever your sessions are, whenever your consults are. This is key, obviously. If you start off on a bad foot and you're late to things and you're not time efficient and you start to like lose track of things, you are fucked. So Google Calendar, all your sessions in, bam, bam, book them in, booking consults. I've even gone to the point at times, write in your own gym sessions, write in as much of your day as possible. It will make things much easier, and it will give you a good idea of what you're going to be doing day to day and what you have time for. Track your conversations. Now, this one is really important. So, on your notes app on your phone, this is what I like to do, and you'll see here there's quite like funny notes about people. So, you're going to be going around the gym, right? And cold approaching people. That is how we are going to be picking up clients. And every time after you've had a conversation with someone, you found out a bit about them, you're going to go, oh, thanks for chatting with them. However the conversation ended, you're going to start walking away. You're going to get out your phone on the notes app, like I've got there, August Leeds, and you're going to write their name. If you get the full name, even better, write that in, and then write some details about them. Old man, slender, grey t-shirt, triathlete coach, bald, you know, any distinct features about them to help you remember them the next time you see them, because you're going to be talking to a lot of people. You are not going to remember everyone, that's for sure. But you may potentially go, okay, I remember the day I spoke to him actually, or I remember his face a little bit. Let's look on my notes, and if it's like, right, bald, grey, black shorts. Okay, that's him. Boom. So then the next time you walk past him, you can say his name. You can be like, oh, hey. And you can see the notes you made. Like, I think here, just been Ibiza for a week, I said on one guy. So you could go, oh, hey, Jake, how was Ibiza? Like, have you recovered from it? How's the training been since then? And then they're going to think, hold on, he's really took the time to remember that about me. Little details like that really add up for people. If you remember their name, say people's name as much as possible. The favorite word for people to ever hear is their own name. So you need to emphasize that, use it. Besides that, it just shows that you care. It just shows that you've put effort in, and then people want to work with someone who's like that. And you'll notice here, next to 2 of the names, I've put different clock emojis. So if you get someone's phone number and then you haven't arranged the consult date, you will put what, like I put the alarm clock. So that means I've got their number, but there isn't a consult booked in. If you get their number and you book a consult in, it's the time, it's the hourglass. And that just gives you a way of swiping through all of these leads and going, okay, number, consult. And then you can put an X or a tick once they buy or once they say no during the consult. So your Google Sheets as well is how we're going to track the leads. So the notes is after you've just spoke to them, write down some details, write down their name. Then when you get home, you're going to go on your laptop and you're going to start writing all the leads you spoke to that day. So give the date, give their name, write whether you got their WhatsApp number. So as you see there, I color it in green, whether you booked a consult from the WhatsApp. If you do, color that in yellow. And then if they attend the consult, change it to green. If they cancel, change it to red. And obviously, if it gets to the sale, fill that in green as well. At the top there, we're going to be tracking all the conversations we have, how many of those conversations we got the numbers for, how many of those numbers we got consults, and then how many of those consults turned into sales. And as you can see here, my closing rate is pretty damn good at 53.33%, which if anyone here knows sales, that is a very good closing rate. So it's all about efficiency. It's all about having these systems. If anyone wants any of the things I show in here, like my lead tracker, my finance tracker, anything like that, send me a message on Instagram or drop a comment down below and I will send it straight over to you. I'll attach my Instagram in the description of the video. So track all your finances separately. I know if you're running certain bank accounts like Metal and maybe even your personal account, they have budget trackers now built into a lot of them, but you really do need to get into the habit of just managing your own shit. So I have built a budget tracker here where you write in the income section there. So for example here, coaching, £1,000, and then your expenses, you can break down into needs, wants, and savings. So let's say it's your car, that's a need. Drinks, that was a want, and investments, savings. It will then work out here, your total income, your total expenses, and at the end of the month, it will give you the profit, so the difference between both. You can then actually write in your goals. So for me, I want to spend 50% of my money on things I need, 30% on things I want, and 20% should go into savings. And it will then break down for you how much you've actually spent on those things. So you can then start to figure out, are you way overspending on your wants? Are you not putting enough money into your savings? You see what I'm saying? It gives you a much better feeling of control over your own life and over your own finances, which is super key, super critical. This is really important to get into the habit of. And then each month you can see whether you're bettering yourself, whether you're progressing, and it'll give you that reward feedback loop that we all need. So how do we actually pick up clients? As I said earlier, one thing only, it is the cold approach. That is it. Every single day, you need to have at least one new conversation. And the first chat is always going to be the hardest, no matter how many times you've done it. I've spoke to over hundreds of people now, and the first chat of the day, every day, is hard. You're like, oh, I just don't want to do this. But you've got to. You have to push yourself out of the comfort zone. It's like going on a roller coaster. A lot of people, you don't want to go on the roller coaster at first, but after it, you're like, whoa, that was great. That wasn't that bad. That's what it's like, obviously on a bit of a less scale than maybe going down the Pepsi Max. But it snowballs and it gets easier. After that first conversation, the second is way easier. The third's even easier, the fourth. So all you need to do is tell yourself every day you're going to have one new conversation. Just one. That's it. One. If you do one, you've completed the day. You've completed your challenge. But usually you'll have that one, it'll break the ice, and you'll go, oh, let's go for 2, let's go for 3, let's go for 4. You know what? I'm not leaving today till I've had 10. That was a rule I ended up going for. I'd go, I need to get 10 conversations. It doesn't matter if they go well. It doesn't matter if they go bad. You just have 10 conversations. That's it. That's the rule. If you do that, you've succeeded. You've won. That's how it goes. So, we don't care about social media, posters, or business cards. Bollocks. Social media, if you're in a commercial gym like this, where the age range is around 30 to 70, they do not give a shit whether you have an Instagram. They don't care how many followers you have. And realistically, they don't even care to see your transformations. I'm just going to be completely honest. Most of the clients I have don't even know about my Instagram. They don't know about my social media at all. And they've never asked. So bin off putting any of your time and effort into this if you are looking to get up to £5,000 a month and follow this structure, because you can very easily do that if you just follow this. You don't need any of that, trust me. None of it will be as effective as taking this direct action and having those conversations every day. This is the nitty-gritty of things. That's empty. So, every person you approach, you are offering them something that will improve their life, and you're making them aware that the choice is theirs and it's available to them right here on their doorstep. That's what you're doing. You are not going over to someone trying to make money. You're not going over to someone trying to sell them your coaching. You're going over to them basically to let them know, hey, you can completely change your life here. You can completely improve your life. The choice is yours. That's basically what you're saying. You can't go into it thinking, I need to make money. Or I need to get that person to give me money. No, like drop that ego, drop that thinking process. You're here to help them. And they just don't know it yet. They don't know what's available to them yet. And you're explaining that to them. So don't follow a script. That's for sure. It'll come across robotic. Don't go, I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say that. But follow a framework of questioning to gauge whether they need your service or not. Here's a little framework I've just provided. So I always usually will approach someone. Don't care if they have their headphones in. Most people in the gym are going to train with their headphones in, like I do. If someone comes up to you, if I go up to them, I just go like that, like just take the headphones out a minute. Or I'll just go up to them like that. Hey, just say hey, like that. And then they'll go. They'll always look at you like you are some form of wild animal, like, fucking what? Trust, just get used to it. Get used to it. People, especially in Britain, are not used to strangers approaching them and speaking to them. They are not used to it. So, fucking what? They'll take their headphones out, just be like, oh, hey, how's your training going? The way you speak is very important. It needs to be laid back, it needs to be calm, it needs to be chill. Just get yourself relaxed. Hey, just imagine they're a mate of yours. Imagine they're a mate of yours and you're just walking past, you bumped into them in the pub. That's what you need to be thinking when you go over to them and be like, oh, all right, how's your training going? Like, I've even had people before think they knew me. That's what it needs to feel like. It needs to feel like they think they know you. So it's like, oh, you're right, how's your training going? They'll give you two things. They'll either go, yeah, fine. Like a bit thing like, why is he asking me that? If they say that, go like, oh, what are you working on today? Like that. Just, it needs to be laid back. It needs to be chill. If they're like confused, like, why are you asking me this? I always just go, like, I'm half laughing. You got to do that every time pretty much. I'm like, oh, don't worry. I'm one of the trainers here. My name's Ethan. I've just been going around chatting to people today. You just say it like that, like it's no big deal. And then that'll break the ice. They'll be a bit like, well, whatever. They'll be like, just a bit of everything, some chest, arms. I was on the bike earlier, because most of them have no idea what they're doing. That's why we're here. We're here to help them. And then you go, oh, nice. So are you on a program at the moment? Everything needs to be questioning, just gradually leaning them towards why they need you. So if you're like, oh, you're on a program at the moment, they'll probably go, oh, no, like, not really. How come? I just don't know. Just never really thought about it. I think I'm just kind of doing my own thing. And you'd be like, yeah, I get that. Have you been getting towards your goals with that? Do you feel like you've been struggling at the moment? How much have you progressed in the last couple months? And then obviously those questions are leading them to always be like, you know what? Yeah, kind of, I want to be here. I kind of got stuck a bit. Can't do this. And then as you're getting towards the end of the conversation there, if they've given you any suggestions like that, if it seems like they don't really know what they're doing, they do need help, especially if they've been asking you questions, that's a huge giveaway that they are interested. Go, well, I've actually been offering like a free 20-minute sit down, like no strings attached, down in the cafe or wherever it would be for you, like the lounge or something like that. Would you be open to that? And then they'll probably be a bit like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of no strings attached. They'd be a bit like, yeah, it could be open to that. You go like, not right now, obviously, as you're training, but maybe later this week, we can have a proper chat, go over your goals, and then I can see how I can help you out. Like I said, it needs to be nonchalant. It's no pressure. You're chill. You're just floating around this gym. And then they'll go, yeah, all right. You go, mind if I get your number? They'll go, yeah. Don't let them take your number. Make sure you take their number. That is key, because if you give them your number, they are not messaging you. They ain't messaging you. That's like, yeah, no, that ain't happening. So take their number. Then ask them, oh, so how many days a week have you been getting in? They'll probably be like, like 3 this week. Or do you usually come on like regular days, times? And then they go, yeah, maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then take a little look at your calendar, see whether you've got a time on Friday, and go, oh, well, funnily enough, at like 2 o'clock on Friday, do you reckon just before your workout we could have it then? And then at that point, you've kind of shoehorned them into it, because they've said they're going to be in anyway. They've told you what time they train, and then they'll go, oh yeah, all right, that'll probably work. And you go, okay, then boom, we'll do this time. Boom, I'll just write that in my calendar. Boom, spot it in. Then go. What I'll do though, I'll shoot you a text, obviously, so you've got that time, like no worries. And then I'll throw over a quick reminder on the day, like, you know what we're like, busy. And then they'll be like, yeah, sweet, all good, man. And then boom, as soon as you've done that, walk away from them, write this down in your notes, like I said earlier, details about them, that you've got the WhatsApp, the day you've arranged the consult for, then head onto WhatsApp and fire them the text over immediately. Like, hey there, really nice chatting to you. Glad I bumped into you there. Just a reminder that we've got it in for bang this day, this time. So they've got the text. It's nice and easy. Sent it over. You've got the consult in. You need to bear in mind that every no is just getting you closer to a yes. So in all of these circumstances, get used to being rejected and shut down. They are missing out, and they need your service. Every time someone says to you no, or they brush you off, or they're even a bit rude, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for them. Like, you need to realize that it is nothing on you. They are missing out 100%. You need to kill your ego. And like I said earlier, they can't impact your positivity, and you are not losing anything. Like, someone saying no to you, you've not lost anything. You are just better off, because the fact you even went to speak to them is a win. Doesn't matter if they say yes or no. It's input, not outcome. This is the number one thing. Every conversation you have, you've won. Doesn't matter if it's a yes or a no. The conversation alone is the win. It's like if you approach a girl that you want to be speaking to, the confidence that you need to build up to like go speak to that girl at the bar. It doesn't matter if she says, I'm not giving you my number, or it doesn't go well. The fact you just went over and spoke to her, you've won anyway, because you've gained confidence and you've gained more skills the more you do it. This is how you need to view it. Do not base how you feel and whether something's positive on the outcome. It is just about the input. So you need to be prepared as well to be ghosted on consults, ghosted on texts, and people will even say they're going to pay 100% because you'll send the link over to them and they'll go, oh yeah, I'll tap that when I get home, 100%. You're like, sure? And yeah, I'll tap when I get home. And then that night, oh yeah, sorry, I won't actually do it. Like, they're just lying because they feel so uncomfortable with the confrontation at the time. I would say, if you can, push it a little bit further. So if they say, oh, I've not got my card on me, I'll tap it when I get home, go 100%, yeah. Like, they'll be like, yeah, when I get home. You'll be like, just because I'm gonna get you set up now, so I just checking. Like, I'm just checking. Do it calm, do it jokingly, but I'm just checking. Come on, like, I'm just checking, okay? And then shake their hand. Even then, they still might cancel, but it's just giving them that little bit of like, okay, he's double, triple check with me. Can I really like cop out on him now? It's just adding that little bit extra level of resistance. So the consult itself, Once they've got the consult in, once you sat down with them, sit down in an area of a gym that's quiet. I've got a cafe in mind, but if you've got like an office or a studio that's not being used, head there. Find out what their problem is, what they are struggling with, and where they want to be. This is what sales is about. It's about finding someone's issue and explaining to them how you have the solution and it is going to benefit their lives, which it is. You're not selling them something, you are fixing them. You are helping their life. That is what you are doing. So ask them what they're looking to get out of a trainer and how it can help with their goals. Everything is just open-ended questions because realistically, you're just guiding them down a path to answering to themselves why they need you. You're not telling them why they need you. They're telling you why they need you. That is what it's all about. So focus on their problems, not the service or the solution. I don't even tell them about the app until towards the end. Realistically, I'll be like, oh, so this is how our training is going to work. They don't give a shit. They care about how they're going to look at the end, not the process that we're going to be doing to get there. That is all they care about. So focus on that. Highlight their pain points and ask how great they'd feel once they got to that end point. So you're guiding them mentally, like they're like, oh, this is sounding good. No, I'd love that idea. I'd love how that would feel. They're not thinking about, oh, I get to type in my reps and the kilos on the app. That isn't exciting them, mate. Not one bit. So towards the end, once you've guided them all through that, once the sale's gone well, and these skills are probably the hardest ones to develop, they will come with time. Don't expect all of your early consults to end in sales. You need to build that skill by just having more. It's a numbers game. So at the end, say the price and do not speak. Do not say a word after you've said the price. So it's going to be £320 a month. Or let's say you've already said, so I work on a monthly basis. Best case scenario, we'll do 2 sessions a week. That gets the best results. That'll be 8 sessions a month. And it's going to be £320. No matter how long they take to say something, you do not say a word. Like, because they might go, don't speak. Do not say anything until they go, okay, right. Just wait. And then if they ask a question, we go from there. They'll either ask a question or they'll go, okay, bit expensive, and things like that. Then you might be able to go, even then I'd probably just leave it until they said something else. You know, they'd carry the conversation on, but you could then ask them, well, what sort of price range were you thinking of going for? And then realistically, they'll go, no, like it's understandable because that is a good price. So realistically, just bang, stay there, and then if they ask any questions, you can deal with the objections afterwards. Be open to their objections and handle them empathetically. Never offer discounts and always stay firm on your packaging price. But if they give you an objection, don't be like, fuck off, mate. Buy my service. Like, no. Like, we're going to be like understanding, hey, if they can't afford it, they can't afford it. Like, be like, okay, completely understand that. If they're like, I'm going to go speak to my partner, that's a very classic one. Go, oh, would they have a say on this? A say on the decision? How come? Then they might be going like, yeah, probably just like the pricing and things, and be like, well, if I could just ask, always preface like that. If I could just ask, what might your partner be opposed to? Would they be supportive of you kind of taking this journey and really investing in yourself and focusing on yourself? Like out of interest, why would they potentially not be up for that? And then it's almost proposing the question to them where they're usually using that as an excuse, and then they'd have to break it down for you and be like, no, it's not that. It's just, see what I mean? They're going through mental loops now, and they're starting to think, you know what, I'm bullshitting myself, which they are. I'm bullshitting myself. I do want this. My partner, I don't need my partner. I can actually do this myself. And then they might head around that rejection or objection. Sorry. So another one is, like I said earlier, I'll tap that when I get home. I've not got my card. Like I said before, press them on that a little bit, just because that's usually an excuse. And the thing about Stripe as well is you can say like, oh, well, it's got Apple Pay. You know what I mean? I always go, oh, it's got Apple Pay. Absolutely fine. We can go through that. And then if they're like, I've not got Apple Pay, you're like, okay, most people have Apple Pay these days. But if they're like, I've not got Apple Pay or I've set up a new card, go, no, that's no worries. Just make sure if we can we get that tapped in tonight, because I want to get your account set up. And just to be sure you're 100% up for this. This is what you want. This is what we want to do. Because usually I just think putting them on a bit more on the spot, it is worth it in that circumstance. So what's the next step forward? Because realistically there, you've ended the sale. You've secured the sale. We've gone through all the stages. You've set your business up. You know how to pick up clients by approaching them in the gym, having conversations. You then book the consult. You sit down with them. You go through their objections. You explain to them why they need your service, and you make them want your service because they do need it. That is 100% true, and it will better their life. Boom, you've secured a sale, they're booked in, you've got their sessions booked into the Google Calendar, and the money's through on Stripe. What's the next step forward? So this is the end that we're going to come to. There are only so many working hours before quality of life is diminished as an in-person gym floor PT. And you can only price increase so much. So realistically, you need to be planning for the future. This cannot be your be-all end-all job unless you are willing to say, you know what, let's say you get up to £50 an hour, which is pretty expensive, but it depends on your area. You might be able to go higher. It's very location specific. You are going to have a cap. There is a cap with how many hours you're going to want to do each week. Whatever that cap is, if you'd want more than that, you have to go, well, I have to do something else, and that would be going online. Online is the only way to truly be free, to truly have an uncapped income, to be making consistently over £10,000 a month. And you are rooted at one gym as a gym floor PT. You rely on paying that gym rent, because if you're in a commercial gym, like Total Fitness, like me, for example, you have to pay them rent every month, and it is quite a high cost. Usually people are very taken aback by it, but let's say you are pulling £5,000 a month, which isn't very difficult if you've been following this video. Take off the rent, which let's say £750, you're at £4,250 a month still after the rent. And yeah, you don't have too many overheads as a PT. So besides that, obviously you have the app as well, things like that. But realistically, you don't really want to be paying any of that if you cannot. So you've got to look towards the online market. It's the only way forward. And I would advise, obviously, going from there into online coaching or fitness sales. However, you need to bear in mind, online coaching is so fucking difficult. So much harder than this. This is easy. This is genuinely easy. If you've listened to what I've said and follow my instructions, you will make £5,000 a month. Trust me, you just have to give yourself a little bit of time. Online, you have thousands of people to compete with. In a gym, you have maybe 10, 15 other PTs. And mate, I can be better than 14 other people. It's a lot harder to be better than 4,000 other people. Just think of it that way. There is way more competition. You have to be you have to stand out in some way, way more than others, or you have to have a brand that is really good compared to others. In this, you've got very little competition. You're already a figure of authority because you're a PT in a gym, so people know why you're coming up and speaking to them. They're already in an environment where they want fitness, they want to improve themselves. Online, it is just, you have to hit so many more touch points to get to this level, so many more. So please bear that in mind. It is not easier to do online coaching, and it is not easy to get into. So I would also potentially recommend looking into fitness sales, becoming an online closer or an appointment setter, because you're now going to use your personal training people and sales experience to transfer career and propel yourself higher, which is what I'm currently working on at the moment. So you use your people skills, you use the skills you've amassed here, working, growing up your income, supporting yourself, to then transfer into a proper sales role, a mobile sales role. You reduce your overheads, you can sell more expensive packages so you make more per hour, and then you go from there. That is one thing I would advocate doing if you are looking to get to those higher echelons of income. Besides that, I hope this video has been helpful. I've tried to cover everything from start to finish. I've tried to demonstrate to you all of the key systems here. Like I said earlier, if you want anything I've demonstrated in this video, like my finance tracker, my lead tracker, or you want to ask me any further questions, then please message me on Instagram or just drop a comment down below and I'll send over stuff to you via YouTube as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope this has helped you to get yourself set up in a personal training role. Besides that, thanks for watching the video. Drop a like if you've enjoyed it so I can kind of get some good feedback on this, and I'll be sure to be dropping some more videos in the future about career progression, mindset, that sort of thing. And probably maybe documenting my journey as I transfer into sales. We'll see about that. But have a great rest of your day, people. Thanks for sticking around and watching this video.